comment?
Yes, Ane. Thank you so much, Ane. Ane, the next 3 days, you have hours at night with your downlines all around the world. But today, Japa and Dato Sri, I would like to invite up your original team, the people who started with you 24 years ago, the people who are some of them your direct referrals, and today they represent your DNA and your messaging to the world. I would like to get your permission, Annette, to invite the V partners up on the screen. All right?
Please.
I would like to firstly, we need some time? You need 2 more minutes? Oh, okay. They want me to speak to both of you for 2 more minutes. Here is the question everyone is asking. All right? Have both of you, Anna and Japa, how bad do your disagreements or your fights get? I mean, you all are partners. You all are on a journey of brotherhood. I see uplines and downlines fighting every day, which you send me in to resolve. But both of you, Japa, you have the toughest upline on the planet.
Which is a heated, I think, me and VJ's disagreement at times would like take a week. He would send me a message. I get a bit irritated. I answer back, and still we coming back and forth. Then it goes. Then I tell VJ, what are you trying to sell me? The last minute. What are you trying to get? I'm like, why are you doing this? I'm already quiet. I totally kind of like said my agreement. I agree. He's still like. Then his answer to me, Batman, Japa, you should ask why you're being irritated. I never sold you the last 24, 26 years of our relationship. I've not sold you anything. So if you're being irritated right now, meditate about it. Why? So then I keep quiet. Then I go introspect. Then I go back to BJ. Yes, thank you, VJ, for reminding me about this thing, like looking always at both sides, triple side, all angles and stuff before. Sometimes I'm opinionated emotionally. I immediately burst out, and we would have heated argument. But it's not really heated because I kind of like, I don't, the thing with VJ, when I say something, I don't try to edit it. That, he might get upset with me, he might not talk to me anymore, he might not declare the dividend. I don't have those fear of, he might. I even, Patman, this is the beauty of our relationship, is that I can sleep at night and I don't worry about anyone who could tell anything bad about me to VJ that VJ doesn't know. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't need to no, VJ, I didn't do this. You know what I mean? Because I know when somebody tells VJ blah, 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 blah about Japa, VJ always comes, sends me Japa, with a question. You know what I mean? And
he always does that,
So you're always, I know I'm going to get my day in court to explain. So I think that's very important in the relationship. So you would say, I mean, I don't even think that's a heated argument. It's like a nice, because VJ loves to spar, I like to spar martial arts. VJ spars with your mind. He challenges you with your growth. And we always have this sparring, It would last for a week, sometimes a month. But of course,
I know.
It's not that I get defeated, but in fact, I see the point he's trying to make. Yeah. So I don't think that I was defeated.
There's no victory or defeat in these things,
I understand and I accept it, and I go back to him and sincerely thank him for this thing that was.
Yeah,
it's
a breakthrough.
It's a breakthrough.
The greatest thing I see, Japa, between both of you, at any point, Dato Sri could tell us, do it. It's done. And he never takes that approach. he would spend weeks convincing you instead of instructing you. And that's, to me, that's a quality of leadership which is so rare and impressive. And a lot of people watching around the world, the reason why I'm having this conversation with our founders is to also show you that they are men. They are human. I know sometimes we edify Dato and Japa, all right, and you look at them and say, wow, they are like, a halo shining over their head. But I wanted you to know that your dreams, your future are in the hands of good men. They're good men, good brothers. They would never abandon you. They would stand by you through your darkest hour and celebrate on your sunny days. And I just wanted them to see that, Ane, between you and Japa. Because sometimes, edification can blind the eye of the person seeing and make you unreal. But this is so important for them to know that our founders are basically networkers. They are husbands, brothers, fathers, and the best friends you could ever wish for. Ane?
Well, there's no victory in winning any battle with someone that you love or you consider as family or between brothers. There's no victory. There's no point to this. But what is important is that I know there is absolutely no battle that is worth, fighting with Japa. There's no battle that would make me, worry about my relationship. We can agree to disagree on 100 different things. Are you with me? And that's fine. We can agree to disagree on anything and still move ahead, because Japa and I will still, for whatever price, continue. And the same thing applies to you as well, Padman.
Oh, Mane, very much.
So, you see, it's not worth any price to lose that relationship with Japa. Japa's relationship with me is far more valuable than any disagreement that we could potentially have. It's as simple as that.
Thank you, Ane.
I can't conceive of anything that I would want to lose my relationship. The relationship is far more valuable. It is invaluable.
Yes, Ane.
So likewise, it is the same relationship that I have with the team that we have built over the years. This, partnership that we have. So that's why, you see, when you say partner, what it means is we are both taking a part of each other's lives. We are both taking part in each other's lives. We are taking part of each other's lives, and we are taking part in each other's life. Hence the word partner. You see?
Yes.
So, and that's why we refer to as partners.
Yes, Ane.
And we don't refer to this concept of downline, upline, and all of that is, essentially part of the culture that the network marketing industry has evolved. But to me, they are only teams and they are partners. They're only partners. And why partners? Because you're taking part in each other's lives, and you're taking and becoming a part of each other's lives. So, Japa is a part of my life, as I am part of his life.
Yes, BJ, very much.
And, we are both, taken a part of each other's lives. So, that to me is more valuable than anything.
That's so beautiful, Ane, and so true. And now, Ane, with your permission, I want to invite your other partners that have been on this journey with you for 24 years, the V partners. I'm just going to call out their names, Lina, all right, and with the sequence you gave me. We start with none other than V partner TG Kintanar. V partner Ranjit Singh. Sorry. V partner Kuna Senati Raja. V partner Dr. Motas. Have all your V partners here with the exception of V partner Ranjit and V partner Mahindra Kumar, who had to attend to a family loss, as you're aware. And all the V partners are here. We'll be having a chat together, addressing the participants on some questions that I think the V partners will be answering. Your words for the V partners, Anne?
Well, it has been an amazing 24 years. Many of you have been in this journey with both Japa and me for a great portion of it in one form or another. The last couple of years have been incredibly challenging. And I think it has tested every relationship, every boundary that we all have. But having said that, the reason that we are able to simply surmount this, overcome this, is simply because of this very special relationship that we have built. The one thing that Patman keeps repeating about, which I want to reiterate to all of you, there have been many network companies who come to see us, who come and watch us, and who are still not able to fathom what it is that makes us tick. I'll tell you what it is. We basically put our heart into everything that we do. Being technically perfect has never been something that I have, placed very high on my priority list. I would like to. It's not that I don't, but I see that as a corporate function. But here in the V, ultimately, we are a family. And we stand together. We climb together. If we fall together, we get up together again. But you have my back just as I have always your back. And that is the most powerful thing, the most powerful message that we could collectively send out to all of these people who are listening to us right now. I have been blessed with all of you. Neither you choosing me or I choosing you has ever been part of this process or equation. It is always, let us call it, a higher power, so to speak. There are no flaws in the master plan. We have been chosen to carry some higher purpose, a nobler purpose in this journey together. And I hope we keep on achieving it. The one thing we have been able to do collectively is change lives. I mean, look at this out there. It moves me every time I see it. I cannot even begin to fathom how we are able to basically reach out and touch these people and keep on doing it. I think that is the magic of what we do. And I am forever grateful that I have you by my side. And if I am going to echo something, it would be essentially, Patman's favorite film, The 300, The Spartans.
Yes, Ade.
All right. And essentially, it is also an echo of what I began with when I developed the concept of the V. There was a theory called comitatus. There was, in essence, the Celtics who were in Germany. Now, they had to basically fight off the Roman Empire, which was so many times more powerful. Small story, but very important one. The reason why Germany was never conquered by Rome, despite the rest of Europe, so to speak, was because of this concept called comitatus. The way that you would enter at that time the lower swamps of Germany was to go through very narrow trails. And when the Roman army came with all of their might, the Germans held them back simply by standing shoulder to shoulder. So when one soldier fell, someone stepped up again. And this act was called comitatus, committing to each other. And from there, essentially, the Spartans are another iconic example of that. Ultimately, we are warriors. And to my brother and sister warriors, I say welcome back to the V. It's amazing that we have traveled together this far. And my one message to all of you, I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Ane. We partners, welcome to VCC 2022. And we are here going to have a chat, all of us. For those of you who heard before from Japa and Dato Sri Vijay, they are the founders. And the men and women you see on the screen, they are the pillars for Japa and Dato Sri. And one thing I want everyone watching to understand, right? If you look at Padma, you look at Donna, you look at Kavita, three of the most powerful women networkers, not only in QNET, but the industry. You look at Kuna, who was my upline even before QNET. All right, you look at Arun George, the young man from Bahrain, Dr. Motas, the man who opened the gateway to the Middle East. All right, and you look at all of them here today on the screen. Remember one thing, very important. All right, and Dave Wadhwani speaks about this a lot. Arun, Adli, Sati, you know. We all started with the exact same tracking center that you have, with 0 on the left, 0 on the right. All right, that means everyone you see on the screen, the legends, all right, the kings and queens of the network marketing industry, they all started exactly where you are right now. So if you are watching VCC and you have 0 on the left, 0 on the right, your name can be Arun George. Your name can be Padma. Your name can be Donna. If you have 3,000 BV on the left, 2,000 BV on the right, your name can be Hendra Nilam. If you finish 2 steps and your network became paralyzed for whatever moronic reason, all right, your name can be Atli Hassan, all right, your name can be Mahendra Kumar, your name can be Kavita. That all of us you see today, the people you look up to, similar to the testimonies you heard today, they all started with 0 on the left, 0 on the right. But today, they represent some of the greatest success stories, not in QNET only, but in the industry of network marketing. So this evening, all right, you will have an opportunity to listen and hear from your uplines. Because if you are an IR in QNET, all roads lead through them for sure. All right? All the men and women you see on the screen. I will never forget in the early days, Dr. Motas, myself, Adli and Mahendra Kumar used to sit down in Dubai until 7 in the morning talking about conquering the world, all right? And I'll never forget in the early days when Donna used to come to Malaysia and we would sit down and listen to her stories, because at that time, all right, women, successful women networkers in QNET Gold Quest was just starting. Donna was the greatest success story, not as a woman, all right, compared to all the men. She was one of the greatest success stories. I'll never forget sitting down and chatting with Donna, all right? And Padma broke every record that is known in the industry in India, guys. And then you got inspiring young networkers who grew up from VCon to VCon, like Sachin, Kavita, Mohanat, all right? And then David Sharma, I'll never forget sitting down in Sri Lanka, doubting the whole presentation. All right, Cherian, I remember our days in Africa. Adli, the first country we visited in Africa was Adli's country, Sudan. All right, Sati was by my side through my toughest and hardest times. Ferdy Tolentino will tell you his story. All right, one of the early pioneers. okay, and Hendra Nilam, the king of Indonesia, unofficial king of Indonesia. Dave Joel, who brought a new level of professionalism into network marketing because he came from one of the highest ranking corporate positions to leave everything behind and come into network marketing. And then the story of the money man, Dave Advani, all right, who translated the language of network marketing into a language of finance, high-level finance, proving that there's no more profitable business than network marketing. T.G. Kintanar, the pillar of integrity and truth. No matter where you hear him speak, his value system has never, ever been diluted. All right? And the guy who took the throne away from me at that time as younger than me in a V partnership, Arun George, until today mesmerizes me on stage. So you have on the screen, all right, every single person. Mahendra Kumar is not here. Ranjit is not here. Ranjit was the greatest success story in Amway, and he walked away to join Dato Sri and Japa because of the value system our founders presented to him. So all their stories are unbelievable. And tonight, I think, Sati, you have discussed with the V partners on the unasked questions of the networkers. All right, Kavita? We have questions in everyone's mind watching us right now, from Africa all the way to South America. All right? And I want you guys to share a little bit of your experience, your message, your advice to this upcoming group of networkers at VCC 2022. Some of them are 1 hour old, I found out. Some of them have not signed up, David Sharma. They said, we will see VCon and then decide whether we sign up. And there's some people watching who have been building for the last 2-3 years, going through the same challenges you went through. All right, so I wanted you guys to kick off. So Sati, you can start by asking anyone on the screen to start sharing. And I want you all to zoom into the screen, and when the person speaks, I want to highlight the person speaking. But before that, I just want to express my gratefulness to all of you, the beloved V partners. Thank you for being the pillars of strength for Dato Sri and Japadas Bismarck. I love you all so much. It's sad that you are not here with us physically, but I love you guys so much. Thank you for creating history together with our founders for our organization. All right? I leave your downlines with you to share your wisdom, experience, and your heart. All right? I love you guys. We can zoom into the V partners now. Whoever is zooming, zoom, zoom, zoom. Into them, full screen. I love you guys. This is your moment to share your experience with everyone. Sati?
Good morning. Good morning, partners. Welcome to VCon 2022. It's so good to share the stage or the screen with all of you. It's a privilege. And there are so many people attending VCon for the first time this year. And they're all looking forward, and they're all looking at the screen and looking, wow, I want to be like this one day. And let's start with TG. TG, can they become like us? And, you always said that belief plays a big role. How does that translate into my question, TG?
First of all, good morning, Sati, VP Sati. Good morning to all of our viewers all over the world. Well, I believe that anybody, absolutely anyone can become a networker, a successful networker. In fact, all of us started from the very bottom. And I think that the most important thing, however, is that you believe in a couple of things. You believe in the industry, you believe in QNET, and you believe in yourself. If you will allow me to expound on this, VP Sati, I will continue.
Yes, please, TG.
Okay. Our industry network marketing, in case you did not know, generates about $200 billion worth of revenue every year. And there are a couple of 100 million distributors all over the world. Now, network marketing, in fact, has made the most number of US dollar millionaires compared to any other industry. I remember in 1998, when I was approached to do this business, I was a total non-believer. I did not believe in network marketing. In fact, I thought that network marketing was a scam, much like a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme back then. And I remember that Dato Sri, Vijay Eswaran, and Japa were there with Donna, and they were doing a presentation at my home. And I was not listening, I was just texting. Of course, that was the biggest mistake, because if I had known that this business was the big business that it is today, I would have listened more attentively. But then that's history. So the second thing that you should do is believe in our company, QNET.
Okay, I think that
Did we all drop out, or did I drop out, VP?
no, we all dropped out, but we are back now. Sorry, guys, for the inconvenience. TJ, you may continue, please.
No, I was talking about QNET, saying that our company is 24 years old now. It was founded in 1998, and this company is probably the only network marketing company in the world that was founded with the intent of saving the existing network from being scammed by another company. Now, all other companies that I know are formed with the intent of making money or making profit. But QNET is run by networkers. In fact, half of the board of directors of this company is composed of networkers. And lastly, I believe that you should believe in yourself. I was watching this afternoon and I noticed the testimonies of V Council, Mohammed Naim. Can you guys hear me?
TG is.
Are you guys able to hear me?
They're getting us back on the broadcast. We're not on broadcast.
Oh, since when?
Just when you were talking. Okay, we're back.
So we're back. We're good. I can talk now, but which part was heard or not?
You can start a bit. Last 2 minutes.
Last 2 minutes. I believe I was talking about QNET. Okay, believing in our company. Is that right, VP Dave?
Yes, VPTG.
Okay. Now, I was just saying that our company is 24 years old. It was founded back in 1998. And as far as I know, ours is the only network marketing company that was founded because we were trying to save people from getting scammed by another company. Okay. Now, most companies that are built because they want to make profits or they want to make money. Now, QNET is totally different. We were founded for one reason and one reason only, and that is to prevent our existing network back then in 1998 from getting cheated by another company. As I was saying, half of the board of directors of our company is in fact composed of networkers. And lastly, I just wanted to say that you have to believe in yourself. I remember watching earlier this afternoon V Council Mohammed Naim saying that he first attended his first VCon in 2015. And in fact, he tried many, many jobs and even opened a restaurant business in Rajasthan. But he is now recognized as a speaker on the VCon stage. Now, how many of you would like to be recognized on the VCon stage? It can be any one of you. Any one of you can become recognized as a speaker on the VCon stage. Are we still good, VP Dave?
Yes, yes, we are.
Lastly, lastly, I just wanted to mention the other speaker, or the one who gave the testimony this afternoon. I believe he was a VEL, elite leader, Hippolyte from Cameroon. Now, he said it took him 2 months to get his first 2 signups and then about 6 months to get his first check. Now, if somebody from Cameroon, like V elite leader Hippolyte Zenko, can do that, anybody can do it, because there's no special talent required here except the belief in the industry, the belief in our company, and the belief in yourself. And I just wanted to end by saying that, as our dear founder, Dato Sri Vijay Eshwaran once said, for as long as you do not quit, success will eventually be yours. Those are my words of my tips, V Partner Sati and V Partner Dave.
Thank you, V Partner TG. Now, looking at the screen, at all the V partners, someone would wonder and say, why are there only 3 women? Are men more successful than women? Are they more hardworking? I don't think so, because I grew up with a single mom and I saw her, and I'm telling you, if she had joined as a IR, she'd be a V partner and a blue diamond within months. I know this. You know, Donna, would you like to elaborate on this?
Because every woman is the equivalent of 3 men. Can you hear me?
Yes, Donna, yes.
So anyway, hi Sati, and thank you. Hi everyone. Hello to my fellow V partners, and of course Dato Sri and Japa. It's a very interesting question, Sati, and I know that you eavesdropped on the recording of my slot for this VCC, where we were talking primarily about what makes women great entrepreneurs. But of all of the qualities that I've seen in myself, and more so in the other women, especially Padma and Kavita and our other female V ambassadors, I think what we have going for us is this ability to endure. And, you know, women have really been able to endure a lot of, you know, difficulties and challenges, and a lot of them all at the same time. And we bring that to the table, to the networking space, and we're able to use that ability to endure to the point where really it's all about, just as TG said, believing in yourself. But at the same time, belief alone is not enough. We've got to take action. And in our business, where there is no guarantee in terms of the results of the work that we put in, there's no guarantee when the results will come. There's no guarantee in terms of in what form the results will come. That ability to endure really kicks in and really, you know, bodes well for us women. And so I believe that women are perfectly suited for direct selling in terms of our ability to endure, but also because direct selling is a great, you know, avenue for women. This is one of the few professions in the world where your gender is, you know, basically irrelevant when it comes to, your commission check. As long as you have 3,000 BB on the left, 3,000 BB on the right, regardless of your gender, you get paid the same. So there is no pay inequality in direct selling, which is great. There is also no rank inequality. As long as you qualify, regardless of your gender, you get promoted in rank, you get advanced in rank. But I think the challenge really is that when it comes to us enduring for the right reasons. So, for example, for me, Sati, when I, found direct selling, it was a gift from God for me. I was 24 years old. I had 3, small children. I was really clueless. We were homeless. I was penniless. I had no idea how I was going to feed 3 hungry children. But I was not hopeless. I really had this hope, this audacious hope that one day things were going to work out well for us. And it was because of that audacious hope that I made myself unemployable. See, part of my audacious hope was that I would have the ability to both provide and be the breadwinner for my children, while at the same time being the primary nurturer and caregiver. So that meant being home-based. Now, back in the early 90s, a home-based business for, majority of women meant maybe cooking or baking or doing something with your hands, which I wasn't really very good at to begin with. So direct selling came to me as really a gift from God. And it was because of direct selling that I was able to be both mother and father to my kids. However, I think what really becomes a challenge that I saw in me and I see in a lot of women is when we start to look around us, right? So first, the reason why we're able to endure is because of our children, our family, our loved ones. We don't know how to give up on our loved ones, right? However, when we start to look around us and we start to compare our journey or our track with those around us, and we feel like we're lagging behind or we're not as good as the others, that's when I believe the challenge comes, Sati. And so today, if I were to give our, the women who are listening to us, maybe three quick tips on how we could really take advantage of this runway called direct selling that's already been built for us. I'd say number one, take your place. A runway is useless.
Donna, could you speak a little bit slower for the translators, please?
My apologies to our amazing translators. Please forgive me. So first, take your place. Direct selling is like a runway that's already been built. But a runway is useless unless the plane gets on the runway, right? So take your place on the runway. And once you've taken your place on the runway, go full throttle. No, holding back, no second thoughts, no, moving forward and backward. No, you just, once you're in the runway, you go full steam ahead, right? And you don't stop until the plane actually takes off. Number two, I'd like to challenge us women to really set our own pace. Now, this is especially true for those with families. We can't run the same pace as others who may not have the same other responsibilities that you may have. And so you can't compare your pace to that of somebody who doesn't have the same responsibilities that you have. But remember that this is just seasonal. My children did not remain young forever. When they were young, I was building my business on weekends. But as they grew older, the time that I was able to commit to my business also increased. And I felt I was okay with that. And finally, number three, maximize the space. It's one thing to take your place and set your own pace and follow and be consistent with your pace, but also maximize the space that you're at. I'm inspired by Japa's story of Kumar, the bellman, the doorman of Jumeirah Beach Hotel. If that's all we'll ever be, right? Be the doorman or the doorwoman, then we maximize that space. And if we get taken out of that space, then it's all right. We own whatever space we're at. Even if nobody else gives us that space, we take our space and we own that space, ladies. And I really hope, especially since it's International Women's Month, that we really believe in ourselves, more than anyone else can, because only we know what we're capable of. Thank you, Sati.
Thank you so much, Donna. Okay. VP David. David, it's not a secret that you are the oldest V partner, which means you joined us at a very late age. Is there a age where network marketing is too late to join, or what?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Thank you, VP Sati. Never too late. I always say to myself and to anybody who asks me. In fact, as Donna was saying earlier, I like the part where she says about runway. And we go through life. We have our ups and downs, and sometimes, towards the later part of our life, we face a crisis. I face a real obstacle, which I did when I was in my late 40s. And I felt that there wasn't any future, but something within me, and I think that is the belief, sort of kept saying that, believe something will come. And something came. And that something came at a later stage in my life, as I said, in the late 40s. And I did not allow my age to be a barrier, because the people who spoke to me, in fact, you were one of my early mentors, and you still are. Chief Padman was there. Number one was there. And, even VP Ranjit, many of them. And of course, Dato Sri was there. And all of you guys are younger than me, but I had to learn to empty my cup, to be humble enough to realize that just because I'm older doesn't mean I know everything. I can still keep learning. And by doing this, I was able to move on this journey with the grace of God to be where I am today. And my message to all my brothers and sisters watching VCC, VCon Connect 4, is no matter what your age is, it's never too late. Never allow your past failures to stop you from progressing further, because the past does not define the future. Always remember, the future is very bright as long as you believe. Thank you, VP Sati.
Thank you, David. VP Kuna, every parent said they want their children to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, but not a networker. Why do you think that network marketing has a bad name?
Thank you, Sati. I think the mindset that all our parents had while we were all growing up is fast changing. In today's world, I think the typical professions of being an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer may not be as important as you having the ability to identify opportunity and succeeding. I know it's difficult sometimes to consider our business as a real business, because you didn't invest millions of dollars, you don't have an office, you don't have staff, you don't have employees. But if you think about it, our business today is designed for these times that we live in. It's more powerful than a traditional business because it gives you immediate access to a global marketplace. And that's why I think we underestimate the power of what we have. And I want to ask every one of you guys to take this business seriously, be a professional, because at the end of the day, I know a lot of my brothers and sisters or we partners were professionals in their old careers before, but they realized the power that they saw when they first saw this business opportunity made them drop everything and pursue this with all their energy and all basically, that's my advice to everyone. That was my advice to myself. That be professional, put on a suit and a tie if you have to, okay? Look for successful people, because the more successful people are out there, the more they're looking for a business that will give them money, success, and time. And a business.
You are muted, VP Sati.
Thank you, VP Sati.
Thank you, VP Kuna. Okay. Ferdy, you started almost at the same time as the company started, so there was a very small office. There was not even a website. There were no tools. How did you manage to build your network until today?
Well, thank you, Sati. Firstly, before QNET, I was really in the corporate. I was an engineer by profession. I have a master's degree in business administration. And I was working happily in a multinational corporation as head of technical and sales. So my dream before was to become a CEO. Then suddenly I found myself in QNET. It really changed the direction of my profession. I just reminded myself that time that I was happily employed but financially broke. So I was really looking for an opportunity that will come in my life. And suddenly, QNET was there. So the thing that made me so excited with this is when I saw Datusri VJ. I remember I was asking him a lot of questions. Why should we do this? Things were not doing well initially. But he said, you just have to work so hard, just the same way you're doing in your job. Same way you're doing in your job. My office was bigger than QNET, okay, because I really took ownership. Okay, I think that's the key, right? It doesn't mean if it's starting or the business is already there, but I've decided to really take ownership of it. Okay, then, but still in my mind, I said, is this right? Because I still want to do my profession as an engineer. So I went to Dato Sri. I told him, Dato, can you guarantee me my success? And he told me, Ferdy, there is no guarantee in life, right? I cannot guarantee you anything. Then I told him, because in my job, I do planning. So I told Dato Sri, Dato, do you have a 3 to 5 year plan? And he said, hey, Ferdy, I don't have a 3 to 5 years plan. I actually have 25 years plan. And I was amazed. We have nothing. And then he's telling me he has a 25-year-old plan. But now we are 24 years. Thanks to that, because I decided to embrace and take ownership of the business. And lastly, I remember when I opened and launched my office, I really spent on it because I really took this as my own business, right? Even my wife was telling me, why are we spending so much and hiring people to do this business, right? At the time, because I said, I have decided that I am the CEO of my QNET business. So if you are doing this, you want a big success, you have to take ownership of it. Now, I still remember Dato Sri telling me when I opened and launched the office, I saw him really in tears, right? And he told me, Ferdy, this is the purpose of why we are doing this, to have ordinary people becoming extraordinary, and people are employed to become entrepreneurs. So, and when I started to do that, I started to do Max Out very soon, continuously, and really changed my life. So my advice to all of you there, especially, you have to make that decision. Do you really want this? When I started this part-time, I was doing it part-time but wholeheartedly, right? Then when I did it full-time, the more I committed myself to make it happen. So if you are wanting to do this, be the CEO of your business. And of course, be the change. And of course, do it now. That's all, VP Sati.
Thank you, Ferdy. Amazing so far. I hope that you guys are actually, everyone is actually learning a lot of things, because I am listening to everyone here. VP Padma, you are a V partner, and your son is a V council member. So you're already 2 generations building the business. Do you really believe that QNET is a business that can build a legacy for your future?
Namaste. So I'm learning a lot from other V partners. There's something little I'm learning from each one of them again. Anyway, I'm learning a lot from other V partners. There's something little I'm learning from each one of them again. Anyway, I disagree with one of the statement who said that when parents don't choose network marketing, but nowadays I feel that most of the parents are choosing network marketing for their children, the way I did. When I started this business, I was single. No, I was a single parent, and I had 2 children. That time I did not know that I was getting into such a wonderful, fantastic business. And that was the time where I need people's support, but I didn't know that I'm gifted with an opportunity where I can go and work for somebody and make them successful in their life. So Chetan and Yashwant, my 2 children, were young at that time, but even at that teenage, Chetan was teenage that time. So I started grooming him along with me. When I started doing this was, I have seen the company going through several challenges and how strong they handle everything. After I got my confidence, I think it took me more than 2 years or something to get the confidence that this company is going to have many years of future. Then I decided to grow my son, elder one. The younger one was much younger than him. So I put him into the hostel to manage the business well. That was one fantastic decision I took those days. So I started grooming Chetan, keeping him with me and showing him the way I can do the business, started building his confidence towards the industry and made him understand how big this industry is. And in the journey, he has seen me building millionaires. And also when I chose to bring him into the business, sign him up. After signing him up, I also gave him a chance to decide whether he wants a traditional business or network marketing. I gave him big money to do something else. And I want him to practically understand that this is the best business for him. I allowed him to lose some money also. He came back to me saying that, Amma, I want to do only this. So then I never want my son to do any complaint later. So he believes this very strongly that this is the best industry. And after that, he really became successful and he's grown to the stage of a V council. And he's a brand ambassador also for QNET. Thanks to QNET for all the support they give to Chetan. And not only for my son, not just leaving a legacy for my children, but it is a great opportunity and a gift. I would say that I'm really fortunate that I got an opportunity to build a legacy through so many people. So where QNET has become a surname, today more than I don't remember what's my actual surname. I'm called as QNET Padma. I get introduced. I introduce myself as QNET Padma, and Chetan is introduced as QNET Chetan. To that extent, our lives have changed. We believe it so strongly, and we started grooming our next generation, Chetan's son and daughter. Chetan's daughter, who is 2.5 years old, can talk about 3,000 and 3,000. She's so inspired the way we show the plans, the way we talk to the people. So the entire home is, the passion goes around, the energy goes around. We are extremely so proud that we belong to this industry. What else? What I feel is we need intelligence to understand the smartness of this business. People should be matured enough to understand how smart this business is and how smartly we can make big money and This is the only industry where we can create some people who will look at us as, there are some people who look at us as gods also, we just give them support in return, by helping somebody, we are also raising ourselves. But the way we are able to change people's life, they really treated as heroes or heroines. The heroines are also treated as heroes. So, and all the women, please understand the power of women. Okay, we are the best administrators. We are good at relationships. We are the best salespeople. The patience we have, the way of relationships we can maintain, we are good at that. So make the best use of that. There is no other industry which can bring the best out of us. And I would say that it is a great opportunity for you, all the women, to bring your children also and groom them as the networkers. There's nothing else, the best thing you can give for your children. Trust me, we are blessed with this business. Okay, but anyway, ending with, I can say that I am the author of my story. I have designed, I am the architect of my business, my life. I have created the way I want to live. Within 20 years plus, the way my life is changed from east to west, all the thanks to the Almighty and thanks to QNET, and above all, thanks to the founders, Dr. Sri Vijay Ishwaran and Japadas Bismarck and Chief and other V partners. Thank you so much for bringing this light into our lives. There was no life. We came into the business when there was no life at all in the life. Today, we are able to pass on the light, the legacy into the people's life. And guys, finally, let me tell you, build a kingdom. Build a kingdom for yourself. This is the only place we get an opportunity to build a kingdom or an empire. Okay? Make it as a generations business. Thank you so much. All the best to you.
Thank you, Padma. Thank you, Padma. Arun, Arun, I'm sure many people want to know that when you signed up, you were very young, and you were also signed up in a foreign country. And I'm sure that when you started the business, many people would have rejected you and laughed at you and said no, because, a young kid trying to do business. How did you carry on until today, Arun?
Thanks, Avi. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so I did start this when I was 23 years old. So, with hardly any experience. And I did get this remark from a lot of people, when I was presenting the business or when I was doing the trainings about, what is this kid going to teach us about making money? This kid hardly has any real life experience. But, what really bothered me was not so much about the rejections or things like that I would get from the prospects or anything. But it was just this lack of ability in people to see this opportunity. I would get upset about it. And when I get upset, I really don't look at, what the age is of the person in front of me, and I start really talking to them. And a lot of them at that time would probably understand that, yeah, this is something different, and then they would sign up. But then a lot of them would quit. After they sign up in the business, they see, your passion and things like that, but then they quit after that. And that really bothered me. And I remember, I spoke to Japa once about this when he came to Bahrain at that time. Japa, these people are quitting. I want to help them to become successful, but they are not staying in the business. I want to do this for them. I want to do that for them and all this stuff. And Japa just said, Arun, don't try to play God. there's only so much you can do. You are not in control of somebody else's life. And that really stuck with me. All right. And I remember it, till today, it guides me, as to the limit that I have in somebody else's success or failure. I can only put in the best I can, but at the end of the day, it's up to them. And I cannot play God. And Datosri, he spoke to us about this SW, right? Some will, some won't. So what? Someone else is waiting. So start working, right? So I would make this mistake of keeping on staring at the shut door for too long that I failed to see all the other doors that are open. I would get frustrated about these few people who quit, that I failed to see all the other people who are still with me, who trust in the company, who are still with me. And, I really understood the meaning of SW at that time when Datosri explained about it, right? I mean, we all get upset about, the people leaving us. But for every one or two people or whatever number of people leave us, there are enough number of people who keep their trust on us and stay with us. And any second that we spend worrying about the people who leave us is injustice done to people who are sticking on with us. Well, that's about it, Sati.
All right, thank you so much, Arun. SW. Hendra Nilam, VP Hendra. Hendra, many people join the business and become successful after some time, but I saw you and you became successful very, very fast from the day you signed up. What's the difference? Why? What happened?
Thank you, VP Sati. Thank you to Master Dato Sri Vijay and Mr. Japa and all the VP partners for the opportunity given. When I started before, when I was young, I have a dream to give the best quality of life to the people I love. I love my parents. I don't want to make them worry about my life. So I had worked very hard since I was young. But in 1998, everything went wrong. Before I joined QNET, I had my own business. I have a couple of business of my own. I have real estate, residential real estate development, and timber company and garment company as well. But business went wrong because of the world economic crisis. I was financially almost broke. So I was desperately looking for something else that I can do to raise my family. I have 4 kids and 1 wife. And I didn't know what to do because I have sold everything one by one. Even I didn't have a house anymore. I have to rent a house for my family to live. And you know what happened, VP Sati? Every time I heard the phone ringing, my heart beating very hard, like this, tuk, 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 because people ask me to pay the loan. The bank also, before you are broke, they will call you and offer you loan. But when you didn't have money, they will call you and ask you to pay them back. And it is very desperate. And at that time, every night when I pray, I cry because I didn't know what to do for tomorrow. I didn't know how to pay the school fee of my children. I didn't know how to buy food for them as well. So one day in 2000, a friend of mine offered me this business opportunity of QNET. I actually tried to avoid from him because I didn't think that anybody can have my life. So, but this upline of mine is a really fighter. He kept calling me for months, and until I feel bad, then I came, I listened to the business, then I say I wanted to join. But at that time, I didn't have money, VP Sati, because, you know, so many things need money for my family living. So I told him, I will join you as soon as I have money. It takes me 2-3 weeks to get the money. Then I call him, not him follow up me. I call him, I say, I want to join you. I have money now. Then I joined. Since then, I work very, very hard. I did many presentation every day. Why? Because I didn't want my family to live in poverty and do not have pride in their life. There is no choice in their life. So, you know, every night I pray, then one day, actually at that time, I almost wanted to die. This is a true story. You know, so tired. Life is so tired. But when I pray, something clicked in my mind. I may not die, because if I die, what will happen to my wife and my children? Then I say, I have to stand up. I have to get up. Then the opportunity comes. Then I see, as a businessman, QNET is really a great business. Why? With a very small capital, with a very a big income potential. There is no risk. Everything is supported by the company. I say this, I will try. I don't know whether I will be successful or not. So every day I did presentation, and the business grow, VP Sati. But after a couple of, in a short time, I earned a lot of money. Then I joined VCon. I joined the training from our founders, Master Dato Sri Vijay and Mr. Japa, and also the V partners. And something clicked in mind. I need to be consistent and persistent, because doing this business for me is like getting into a tunnel. We have no U-turn. I cannot go back. I only can see the light in the end of the tunnel. Then I have to reach the lights. So I keep working. Then in the VCon, in the training, I can feel the love, the genuine love, the care of the founders. So I tell myself, this is my final destination. This is the best business in the world I have found. That's why I keep working. And like Mr. Japa say, we loyal to people who are loyal to the mission, to the talk. The people who walk the talk are really loyal, because I've seen in our founders, they are so true with what they say. They are so generous with what they say. So me, I respect and I love them so much. I will never leave this company, VP Sati. And in the business, there's up and down, but the urgency is more important than everything. I don't think anything. I don't beware of the rejection anymore. One thing I think is I have to rest my family, the people I love. And today I cannot leave QNET anymore, because there are so many people trust us and depend their life on us. So I will always be with this company. Thank you so much for this opportunity, QNET and the V. I love you.
Thank you, Andra.
Thank you.
Dave Wadhwani, we partner Dave Wadhwani.
Yes, Sati.
You know, Dave, in network marketing, people always talk that you need to build a relationship with your upline, with your downline. Can you explain more about that? Because, you know, people don't understand what a relationship is all about.
See, in life, we have many kinds of relationships. We have personal relationships, we have business relationships. But any relationship boils down to integrity. Because if there's no integrity in the relationship, there cannot be a relationship. And I still remember one of my first mentors when I was a young banker explained to me, I said, how can I be a man of integrity? And he said, Dave, it is the most simple thing. Just keep your promises. So I told him what I do. He said, no, there are no big promise. He said, I know you keep your big promises. He said, but do you keep your small promises? So I said, I don't understand what you mean by that. And he said, do you reply to every message you get? Do you actually return every phone call? And he said, the most important thing in a relationship at times is to have the character to actually say, no, I can't do it for you. Not like, oh, I'll get back to you. And basically, you don't do that because you actually be honest with the person and say, yes, I can do this, or no, I can't do this. So from a young age, I started to follow this principle. And because of that, through the years, and then I basically got into the QNET world, which I still am in, I was able to leverage those relationships I had built. And people knew at the time, and people still know now. And I call it the speed of trust. You know, if I call you Sati and I say, Sati, I need 50,000 US dollars. I know that all you'll ask me is for my bank details. But if I go to a bank and ask them for 50,000 US dollars, I'll be stuck with maybe a week of paperwork. But with us, we are brothers. A handshake does it. So I believe our business is based on the strength of our relationships. That's when you phone a person up and say, listen, I got something to talk to you about. And the person knows because of your integrity and because of the strength of the relationship that they can trust you for a few $1,000s. I mean, what's a few $1,000s today? It's not even money, guys. It's not even money. You know, we spend that without even knowing we spent it, if you know what I'm saying. So to me, integrity and the relationship. And the thing about a relationship, you can't say that you have financial integrity, but your personal integrity lacks, and vice versa. A person must trust you, your integrity in both, in your personal life, the way you treat people, you know, the way you deal with issues, and also obviously financial integrity, where you keep your promises. So there have been times in my life where I have not been able to keep my promise. Okay, I've also gone through downs in my life. And let's say I borrowed the $50,000 from you, Sati, and I promised you I'd pay you on the 1st of April. And I can't for some reason. Something went wrong. I make sure I will call you up a few days, before that, so that you don't have to call me, I will call you and explain to you that I have a plan and I will come good on it. So this is how I've built my relationships over the years. And I've maintained them, most of them. And these were the relationships that basically helped me get this business off the ground in the beginning. Because it's plain and simple, people trusted me. They didn't know about QNET. They didn't care about Google. They just knew that basically I wouldn't let them down. So I think relationships are very, very powerful, guys. It's not just upline, downline. It's across the board. Thank you, Sati.
Thank you, Dave. And Dave, 1st of April is 5 days away, yeah?
So you need the 50 grand?
Yeah.
First, you have to send it to me. Then I'll send it back. Huh?
Kavita.
Yes,
Kavita, obviously everyone in VCon knows that you are a go-getter, extremely hardworking lady, and a very successful one at that. Now, in order for that to happen, when you first joined the business, you had to accept a lot of new things that were not in your life before. Would you like to talk about that a bit?
Thank you, VP Sati. So VP Sati, actually, when I started the business, I was at the peak of my career. And, in India those days, working with a multinational company used to be a dream for everybody. And I was doing very well, as per my age. So I work with all top brands in India where, people used to dream about working with those companies. And I was like, achiever, all India #1 sales, la, 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 la. And I was enjoying my life. And I wanted to do something of my own. So I started my traditional business. But so network marketing kept coming to me, through various people. And I always looked down upon this industry. I thought network marketing is to be done by people who can't do anything else. It is for housewives. It is for people with no degrees, maybe no knowledge about about other industries, or people who are non-performers. So I always looked down upon this industry. So my first challenge when I started this journey was to accept that this is something that can take me where I want to reach in life. And to get out of that whole mindset of going to work and coming back home. And that going to work and coming back home was honestly not pinching me, because I was doing well and I was earning good money. So it wasn't pinching me. So first of all, this acceptance that, that this industry can bring in that change, not only in my life, but in my family's life, was my first challenge. And obviously, when I attended my first week-on, the acceptance actually kicked in that it can be something that can change my life. So I know a lot of people who are watching us today come from corporate backgrounds and come from good positions, and it sometimes becomes very difficult, because the only thing that's there in our head is what will people think when they will get to know that I'm a part of a network marketing industry. So how to approach people and how to say that, I'm doing this MLM or I'm doing this network marketing. So that was my first ever challenge, and acceptance took time, but thanks to week-on, it really helped me accept that, because I saw a lot of people like me being a part of that week-on and learning from there. Once I became active in the business, so this acceptance part actually took 1 year for me. I was going back and forth and I wasted a lot of time. And, it took 1 year for me to realize that. And after I started the business, a lot of more acceptance, because it is a people's business. I'm not a boss here. I'm not a manager, but, I'm on my way to be a leader maybe. And not everybody will think like me. It can't be my way or highway. People will reject me. And the acceptance that people will reject the opportunity in their life and not me as such also took time. So I used to take every rejection very, very personally. I used to feel people are rejecting me rather than rejecting the opportunity. So acceptance that everybody is different, everybody comes from a different background, and everybody has their own pace. Accepting that not everybody would be that aggressive. Some people would want to go slow. Some people will be better than me. So accepting that and giving space to people, and at the same time pushing them was a challenge. But I think most of us, people who are attending week-on for the first time over less than a year and still struggling with the acceptance, you're sitting on the fence. So either this week-on can pull you towards QNET, or the naysayers or people outside or your family will pull you on the other side. But when I was at your stage, when I was pulled at the side of QNET, when I attended my first week-on, I realized that if I would have gone that side, there was nothing more to achieve. I would have switched jobs again and again, would have maybe grown a little, earned a more salary, but my life wouldn't change and my family's life wouldn't change. But thankfully, I was pulled at this side, and I realized that there was nothing to lose. It was a win-win situation where all my dreams actually came true. So this time that people waste, this time that I wasted in getting the acceptance, is something that I would advise people or suggest people or request people to not waste this time, because You see so many people on the screen, and everybody has this acceptance issue. And I think we have done all the due diligence, and we know what really works. So do not waste your time. Let's kick off. And as VP Donna said, you're already on the runway. Do not stop. Just keep running till your flight takes off. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavita. Dr. Motas, Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam, Brother Sati. How are you?
Very good. Your name says it all. It says Dr. Motas. So obviously you are very knowledgeable, but the knowledge that they acquired in the medical field cannot be carried forward to networking. So you had to start from zero. So how important is knowledge in our business?
Wonderful. Actually, I remember myself, the best gift was given to me by my second upline, not the direct upline, which was Willie Martinez. It was a book. Actually, I signed up because I met Willie, and I decided to do the business because he was talking honestly with me. And I asked him, is there any book that we can read about this? He said, next time when I fly, I will get you a book. So Willie was working in a company that he did some travel around in the GCC countries. And he bought a book. I don't want to market the book online now, but this book was really, how can I tell you, Sati? And I want to tell everyone actually who doesn't know the story. It was that I left the country and I was to study a master's degree. So I sold my car, I sold everything, and I even burned my ships behind me. I went to Egypt to study master's degree. So when I came back to Dubai, it was Ramadan and I signed up. Obviously, when I started to do this business, I had no car. So I remember coming back by taxi and the book in my hand. Sati, I opened the book. I read the preface. Only few words of the writer and his wife. He said, thanks to the upline of my wife who called home, and we were running out to a dinner that I invited my wife to tell her, please, this business you need to stop. But I wanted to tell it to her in a nice way. But the phone rang. This is in the preface. The phone rang and he picked up the phone. He said, sir, give me the chance that I meet you with your wife. And that is why this writer became a $25 million in 5 years. And he spoke about himself this way. Believe me, when I was riding the taxi going back home, I started to dream already that I am a dentist. I was a dentist. And I believe in theory more than believing people. I don't believe the parroting which happened in the presentation, in my first presentation. Many people, you can earn $2,000 per day. I don't know what, all rah. I don't believe that at all. When I caught the book in my hand, I found the first Bible of network marketing. And I grew up without an upline, by the way. My upline just left me because he was old school, like bring in people, give them documents to read, and that is your system, and leave me alone. So I grew up with the book until, of course, I was lucky. I told my story before. I was lucky I met Dato and Japa from the first day before sign up. That made Japa my upline when he landed in Dubai after a few months. Then Willie was still busy in networking also. So what I mean to say, theory is very important. And if Donna was talking about the plane taking off, I tell you, the plane, I agree, and I need to repeat and continue her story. The plane need to reach a speed which is about 450 to 600 plus kilometer per hour to take off. That power, I tell myself and networkers, to myself, I say this is the reason I took off. And I tell to my friends and partners, take off, but you need to maintain. And to maintain that, you need knowledge and you need your system. Every group of our V partners, they have different systems. All of them, they work because they have been put in trial and error many times. So I think theory, like Sati was emphasizing, V partner Sati is my brother, and I know also how we communicated overseas before we met with the chief also. And I think theory is very important to become a professional networker. Please understand, I mean, our partners in the business, please understand. I think you know this already. With theory, you become very professional. And I think this is my words about it, Sati.
Thank you very much, Dr. Motas.
Thank you very much.
VP Dave. VP Dave Joel, VP Dave.
Yes.
Dave, you're very, I would say, high-ranking director before you joined network marketing in a very five-star establishment. And a lot of your employees had to listen to you because you were their boss. They had no choice. But now in network marketing, they don't have to listen to you, but your network, they still listen to you, okay, without the boss title. So why do they do that? And then you mentioned a few times about servant leadership. Could you elaborate that a bit?
Sure, VP Sati. Thanks. Hi, everyone. Yeah. I think you brought the word, I mean, you mentioned the word servant leadership. To be very frank, guys, I never heard about this word before joining this company. All right, there's no such word there. I mean, there is the boss is right. The boss is always right. Listen to the boss. Is my way or the highway. I mean, that's the background I grew in the corporate world. But when I came into this beautiful industry, like VP Motas, very lucky to see Dato Sri and Japa in the early days. And I was very lucky, I mean, you are being my upline, VP Sati. All right. Then I got with Chief as well. So I was surrounded by leaders in the first day, I would say. All right. But it was not easy because I was already established, so-called, in the corporate world. And it was difficult to listen to others, I will say. All right. And to keep it short, right? What made me, I mean, I was just blown away seeing Dato Sri. I was so blessed that I had some time with him, quite a lot of time when he used to come to Singapore. And I had the privilege to be with him. I would say we were lucky that time Singapore wasn't established that much. So, you know, immediately I came to know him. And I saw this person, an owner of a company. I mean, he is the man, but he's so humble, you know. He's so humble. And I would say, when you be with him, you feel valued. You know? He values people. He's a listener. See, I see the qualities. I see this gentleman. He values people. He's a listener. Humility to a highest level. All right. Very caring. So I saw a lot of things. I saw a lot of things in that. And I said, man, I never seen an owner like that because I've worked for owners, many owners prior. All right. I mean, you cannot say anything. You don't even have a chance to talk. You only talk when they want you to talk. That was different. You know, you only talk when they want you to talk. So what happened that so what I learned from Dato Sri, that then I understood. I mean, what is a servant leader? It's our upline, guys. Our upline is a servant leader, because firstly, he has, I mean, unselfish mindset. He cares about others more than anyone else, and then he fosters leadership in others. So if you see now, even the corporate team today who are watching Beacon all over the world, and the leaders here, right? We will always say it's a monkey see, monkey do business, correct or not? Follow your upline. This is what your upline do. So I see Dato Sri as my upline, and I watch him, every move he makes and all that. And I said, well, that is how I want to be. I mean, that's the recipe for success. You know what I mean? So it's a recipe in front of me. You know, if I don't follow, I will be the silliest person on this planet. And if you see, like, guys, all of you watching, wherever you are, how new you are, you know the compensation plan. You know our business plan, correct or not? In our business plan, it's already instilled, actually. You have to serve your people in order for you to be successful. When you join, remember you're shown some circles, right? This is you. You bring one left, one right. And then you make some money. And then when they bring left and right, how do you make money if you don't help the person on your left and on your right? That means you cannot be selfish, you know. You must go and help your left person on your right person. When they make money, both sides of your tree makes money, you make double the money. So the compensation plan itself was so attractive that instill you being a servant leader. So this DNA, VP Sati, and the rest has been instilled from the beginning. It's basically the DNA. I would say the DNA of this organization. All right. And I will say all of us that the monkey see, monkey do, we are the product. In the early days, I remember when I started building, I used to book the function room. I make sure that the tables and chairs are set up, the meeting, everything. We do that, right, Ferdy? I mean, in the beginning days, that's how you do it. So you make sure that everyone is comfort, your people will feel that, hey, I want to follow this guy. So I want to be led with somebody who care about me. I want to be led somebody who I can trust. I want to be led by somebody who will think about me more than himself. That's values of servant leadership. So I would like to tell the thousands or the 500,000 people watching today, all right? This company is built that way. Like how we started off, VP Donna, who started day one, VP TG, day one, along Dato Sri and Japa. All right, and I see them, and I see how their behavior and the knowledge they instill into us, and they do not even they do not even want to keep some secrets. You know, they tell you everything. In the other, what do you call it, the real world? I don't know which world is the real world. For me, this is the real world. Okay, that is a selfish world out there, because the person or the boss will not share with you everything. Because once you know everything, he or she is worried because you will be better than them. But our upline want us to be better than them. So it's about lifting your people than we need. So I've gone through this journey, seeing this. I am a product of this, and I would not stop doing that. So for me, being servant leader is everything. And I'm really thankful to Dato Sri and Japa to instill that. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Dave. VP Sachin.
Yes, VP Sati.
Sachin, many people, they build 2 or 3 markets, and they focus on the 2 or 3 markets to build leadership and to build depth. But you like the challenge of starting new markets. What's your strategy on that?
VP Sati, first of all, there's no strategy, first of all. Now it is working out well for me, but there was no strategy. It's just that I love doing that. Initially, I was doing it to build more security. And then eventually I started loving doing that. And then finally, it basically gives you a confidence that you can still build. You are not depending on anyone. You can still build, even if you land in one of the island, within maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you will end up building an empire actually there also, right? And I think it makes me happy when I look into mirror, and it actually gives a confidence. And I always suggest people, who always come back and ask me that, my this team is not working, or my that team is not working, my this leader is not working. I think it's an indication from a God to them that it's time for them to rebuild. It's time for them to learn that you should never stop building. Because, in this business, if you build once, you are a mercenary. If you build it twice, you are just, okay, you're a little greedy actually. You build it thrice, you are ambitious. But you keep building it, you're a builder actually, right? So I think if we want to really build a legacy, we really want to leave a legacy. And if we really want to create security and also change as a person and become a professional networker, not just a normal person who makes a lot of money actually, right? I'm talking about the networker. Networker itself it's a different fraternity altogether, right? And ironically, most of the time people here make a lot of money, but they don't become a networker actually, right? So I promote and I believe in that one need to become a networker, not just earn money actually, right? And to become a networker, you have to be ready to rebuild again and again. Rebuild does not mean collapse and rebuild. Rebuild means even if your markets are doing well, why not building another market? Why not building another market from zero? That keeps you on toes, that keeps you updated, because every 2 years, the way to do the business is changing. Every new market which you build, always you basically build it more efficiently, okay? And also, new markets are always beneficiary of the old mistakes done in the old markets. And more than anything else, your confidence is always intact that, you are still a networker. You're not iconic actually anymore, right? And I think that's the biggest disadvantage when people start making a lot of money. They actually behave like a working upline. They think they are a working upline, but actually their actions are like an iconic upline. And that's where exactly the mismatch happen, where people follow and they feel that they will get a lot of support, but they only get gyan. The support most of the time come when you roll your sleeves, show it to them, not only build with them, but we build without them somewhere else also. Then only actually, what you're talking comes with the substance and experience, right? So I think rebuilding and keep building should be a way of life for those people who really, really are here to build a legacy for generations and who really want to bring out the best potential from themselves as a networker and want to become a networker from heart, not just somebody who will make money actually, right? And it teaches a lot actually, because same thing which somebody has done 10 years back, if that person need to do it again today without having a financial crunch, it requires a lot of determination and discipline actually, right? And that determination and discipline makes you a networker. And I think because when we needed it, everyone that did it actually, right? Like for example, when in the beginning, when I was ground zero actually, right? I was bleeding, no money, nothing actually, right? So I had to do it because there was no do or die situation actually, right? But when you don't have to do it and still you're doing it, that means it has gone in your DNA. And this is what exactly you believe in living the way that you want to live, right? So even if 1% of the networkers can build this DNA in themselves, I think we can conquer the world sooner and faster, and in more efficient manner. That's why I always believe in rebuilding, keep building new markets, new leaders. New market does not mean new countries, but the same market, but new leaders, new teams, more efficiently, keep improving the systems again and again, because when you're on the ground, your efficiency go up, you can improve the systems, and you can just not carry on with the old traditional systems anymore. For that, you have to be on the ground. So this is what exactly I believe. And I think it's an addiction actually, right? And I'm proud that I got this addiction because it is much better than a lot of other addictions, which generally comes after having money actually, right? So I think this addiction is better than other addictions, which are harmful for health, which are harmful for the society also. Okay, I think this is a good addiction. So I love doing this, and I'm addicted to rebuild and keep building new things, new teams, and I'll keep doing that. That's my take on this.
Thank you very much, Sachin. Rebuild. VP Mohanad.
Salam alaikum everybody. Salam to Dato. Salam Salam the partners. Salam to all IRs around the world, dreamers, everybody. Yes, VP Sati.
Mohanad, you've been extremely successful in this business, and I'm sure that you had to give up and sacrifice a lot of things, and people are afraid that, oh, to be successful, I have to sacrifice a lot of things. What does sacrifice mean in our business?
Okay, thank you. For me, when I'm thinking about sacrifice, for me, I say it is one coin with two faces. Phase one is sacrifice, the phase two is paying the price. I cannot differentiate between these two. I cannot cut them. If there is no focus, there is no paying the price. If there is no paying the price, there is no focus. I believe this will be very important for a new IRs, those people who want to take the business seriously. As my brother Sachin said, those people who want to be professional networker, not a hobby, not those people who want only to earn money and be just earner. To be a professional is different than when you play football, for example, with your friends outside the neighborhood. Is different when you go to the clubs and so on, so till you be in the league. Personal life, always, I believe, examples will get directly to the point better than giving an explaining it as a point. I remember when I was in the beginning, when I learned from Dato and from Japa about the focus and paying the price. I believe this is called lesson number one for everyone who wants to be professional networker. My job, my manager used to give me extra out time or extra overtime, and I used to take it for extra $100 or something like this. But when I joined QNET, I said, yes, I have to be only from one income, from QNET only. If he asked me to go for extra training or so and so I grow on my business career, as an employee, I said, no, this is not my career. This is not my future. My future is not here. I was working in a job, but I was in my mentality, I was in part-time, but in QNET, it is full-time. Even though it's as number of hours in QNET in the beginning was little, but for me, this is my future. I am here. I have to pay the price. I have to sacrifice. I don't want to earn extra money from here, so I lose my focus on QNET. I got some opportunities in life, like a trading, some broker. I take some extra money from here and there. I felt like it is a shame if I earn money from outside. It's like it's like a black spot in my future if I remember, oh, Mohammed, you was earning from here and there. And I took the decision that I have to resign while even my income was little from QNET at that time. I wasn't making 250 and sometimes zero on 250. But I said I have to sacrifice because one day when I grow up, when I reach to 60s, I will regret. I will regret why Mohammed didn't pay the price, why you didn't take the challenge, why you didn't focus only in one earning. It's only one earning should be in your life, not multiple earning. So in conclusion, when I take them all, focus to be professional, focus to earn from one side, focus to build your future. You have to sacrifice in time, you have to sacrifice in hard work, you have to learn more, you have to leave your job, you have to do anything which will lead you to the top. You cannot give with conditions. You cannot give with conditions. You have to give forever. I remember also one day, a long time back, Dato said, if it's not gonna kill you, do it. It's one advice. So for dreamers, everybody around the world, dreamers, networkers, QNET dreamers, I will tell you again, focus and pay the price is one of the basic elements and very important for everyone to reach to the top. It's a short points, but I'm sure when it hit your mind and when you take it in your life, you will change. You will be changed a lot. You will start climbing. You start climbing. You will start climbing, and then your dreams come true. That's it, VP Sati.
Thank you very much, Moana. We got one more, VP Cherian. Cherian is left, not here. VP Cherian, you're back.
Yes, VP Sati.
VP Cherian, I know that you have a network, huge networks all around the world. What would your advice be to someone who wants to immediately start building overseas?
Okay, thank you very much, VP Sati, for the opportunity. Thank you, we partners and respected founders. Greetings to all the participants from around the world. I got started in the business when I was working in the Middle East, and I was actually in a country where the size of the population in the country was too small. Okay, it was less than 1 million people at that point of time. And when I got started, the first thing I would get as a question from most of my prospects is, what happens if we finish signing up everybody in the country? That was a quite common question which would come almost all the time. And in the initial days, I didn't know how to answer it. I was just starting in the business. My upline had left me, had disappeared, and I was struggling to build the business alone. My goal was to pay off my loan. I had a loan of about $15,000 at that time, and my focus was to somehow pay off this loan. I never knew that I am in a company where I'm going to stay for life. I thought I'll make enough money quickly and disappear. However, things which happened in my life after that, in my business after that, changed my perspective about this business. Okay, those days there were no events. I don't remember seeing anybody from the company at that time. We didn't have any major events on a global scale at that time. And we did not have much facilities like what we have today, wherein information is very much available to anyone, everyone. Social media was not there at that point of time in a big way. So what happened is I kept working. First 30 days was very difficult. Earned my first commission after 30 days. In the process of building the business, I was able to learn how to do the business because nobody was there to guide me. And slowly but surely, I continued building the business until I happened to attend the first V-Team training in Bahrain. It happened in the Hilton Hotel. And that is when I met the founders, the then V partners at that time. and learn from them. Now, that 3-day training which I attended instilled a lot of belief in me, okay, which helped me to grow the business to the next level. A few months later, I still remember the company announced their anniversary cruise. And the cruise was from Port Klang in Malaysia, going all the way to Thailand and coming back, 5 days. And I took the opportunity to travel with my wife and my only daughter at that time. And it was an amazing experience where, for the first time, I saw the founders on action. I saw our founders being in service to the participants in that cruise. And I also met a lot of leaders from other countries around the world, which gave me a lot of belief. Okay, now the in-service thing which I saw there was a very important learning for me. Okay, it helped me to understand that I am in this business, and the only way I can grow this business is by helping and developing people who believe in me. So when I came back, I implemented that philosophy into my business building. And as I started implementing it, I realized that if I could build this business in Middle East, in Bahrain, then I could build it in any country in the region or any part of the world. So I slowly started asking my network whether they have contacts across the region, and that led to me being in service to my network by going into those markets, meeting those prospects whom my partners would recommend to me, and that helped me to open new markets. So when I tried it one time, it really worked. I understood that it could be a great way of expanding my business. I started doing it multiple times and continued it and built it as a culture. So all the markets, wherever I have built it in service to my network. I basically wanted to help those serious networkers in my team who are willing to work aggressively, who are willing to pay the price, who would want support and help from people who can help them. And that philosophy helped me to grow all over Middle East, helped me to expand into India, helped me to expand into Africa. And I am very grateful for that learning, which has kept guiding me throughout my past 21 years in this business. Thank you, VP Sati.
Thank you very much, Cherian. And the last one, I think, VP Atlee, we have. VP Atlee, in the past 20 years, can you share one advice that you received with everyone in WeCon 2020 that made a difference to you?
Oh, thank you, Sati. As you know, I'm the oldest among the VP partners after VP Sharian, after VP David Sharma. And when I joined, I was coming from the corporate field. I made it big time as a civil engineer to this high position as a projects manager. So I was very full of myself. It was very difficult for me to plug myself into my upline system, to trust that the upline who's younger than me, he has a system that will guide me and help me to make it here. So my advice to everyone today, just trust in your upline system. Empty your cup, trust in your upline system, because this is the same system who made many people and made your upline himself successful. And it's very simple. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just trust in the upline system. And one day when you start maxing out, you can have also your inputs. But until then, just follow. What do you call it? Shut up, listen, and do. Thank you.
Thank you, VP Ali. Thank you, we partners. That was amazing amount of advice and wealth of knowledge that WeCon received this year. And we partners, please stay back on the call. You can switch off your camera and be on standby. And Chief, back to you.
Thank